today, students from Plateau State University, history and international students. They are also here to observe our proceedings. Please can you stand up for recognition? You are welcome. You may sit down, please. Honorable colleagues, I'm pleased to inform you that leadership has accepted to rename the House Committee, or to change the name of the House Committee on Niger Delta Ministry to House Committee on Regional Development, and this takes immediate effect. For our own information, please. The Leader of the House, please can you move for us to suspend our relevant rules to enable us admit into the chamber members of Parliament from Uganda Parliament to observe the plenary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Professor Julius Ihanvire, Owan Federal Constituency, Edo State. I rise to move that we suspend our rules to admit into the chambers parliamentarians from Uganda. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, Kingsley Chinda, I rise to second the motion that we do suspend the relevant sections of our rules to allow for the entry into the chambers of our colleagues from outside the country. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. Let's have it. Chair rules, who will be the one to please bring them in? The Deputy Majority Leader, please kindly direct them in. The next announcement, honorable colleagues, is in respect of our pre-budget oversight. In that regard, I wish to formally announce that the House will proceed on a one-week-long recess, commencing from Monday, November 4th to Monday, November 11th. This is to allow members to undertake critical oversights and inspections as prescribed by the Constitution and our standing orders. As we approach the close of the year, this period of oversight is essential for assessing the performance of ministries, departments, and agencies, ensuring accountability and efficiency within the public sector, and fulfilling our obligation to the Nigerian people. I therefore urge all members to approach this assignment with the seriousness it deserves. Furthermore, I call on all MDAs to extend their full cooperation, providing members with all necessary information and access to facilitate thorough and meaningful assessments. The House will resume sitting on Tuesday, November 12th at 11 a.m. Let us utilize this time, honorable colleagues, to enhance governance and uphold our oversight responsibilities. The most important announcement of the day. Honorable colleagues, it's my pleasure to inform you the Honorable Dr. Sulema Abubakar Gumi has a very important message for all of us. And with your kind permission, I will read this later. He said, I write to inform you of my decision to decamp from the People's Party, People's Democratic Party, to the All Progressive Congress, APC, with immediate effect. Your Excellency, my decampment from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress was as a result of the lingering and unresolved internal and external crisis within the People's Democratic Party. It is noteworthy to state here that the People's Democratic Party have two chairmen in my constituency, Gumi and Bukuyum Federal Constituency. One was unconstitutionally removed, while the other decamped with me. Hence, the party lacks structure in my constituency, and this has made it possible for me to provide good representation and prompt delivery of dividends of democracy to my constituents. It is in view of the foregoing that I'm officially informing you of my decampment from the People's Democratic Party to the All
Point of
Progressive
order.
Party. Please accept the
Point of order.
assurances of my highest esteem and regards.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Signed, Honorable Dr. Sulema Abubakar Gumi. Honorable Gumi, can you stand up for recognition?
Mr.
on
Speaker,
the
point
blessing
of order.
The biggest and greatest party in Africa. Congratulations.
Point of
Welcome
order,
on
Mr.
board.
Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, point of order.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
What point do you have, the leader?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm very grateful, my dear colleagues. Mr. Speaker, I rise under constitutional point of order. Although threadbare, although you know why I am standing. But, Mr. Speaker, a time comes when you might want to be compelled to do the proper thing. Mr. Speaker, you sit here today as our leader, as the interpreter of the rules of the House and the Constitution, as far as we are concerned in these green chambers. Mr. Speaker, you are aware that for a member to leave his political party to another political party, the constitutional provisions are very, very clear. And the reasons given from what you have read is that he has 2 chairmen in his constituency. Mr. Speaker, the courts of this land, including the Supreme Court, has interpreted clearly what a division in a party is. And I will call you, sir, to act according to your oath of office, which you swore as Mr. Speaker, to uphold the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to carry out that assignment as the whole world is watching and listening to what position and decision you will take, sir. I would therefore urge you, Mr. Speaker, to act in line with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and declare the seat vacant. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, leader.
Point of order,
Your
Mr.
point is
Speaker.
noted. I will reflect over.
Point of order.
Back to you.
Point of order. Point of order.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Jimmy, I don't think if we need to waste time on this. The leader has made his points.
No.
And we reflect.
Point of order on choice of words, sir.
Decide in the future what we need to do. Do you need to say anything more?
Yes, sir. Point of order on choice of words, sir. I remain Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, privilege, Mr. Speaker. I remain Baba Jimmy Benson.
Order, please. Order.
Representing the good people of Ikorodu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, choice of words. Privilege. Order 6, Rule 9, Mr. Speaker. Order 6, Rule 9.
He is protected by the chair. Please go on.
And I quote, the majority leader used words, minority leader used words that I think he should take back. He said to Mr. Speaker that a time may come when you, Mr. Speaker, have to do the right thing. Honorable colleagues, our Speaker does the right thing all the time. Minorities leader's position is succinct, but I think he should take that word back.
No, I think we can
Mr.
excuse
Speaker-
him under the circumstances.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, point of order, please.
Who is raising a point of order?
Honorable Mark Obeta.
Okay, what is the point of order, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Mark Obeta, member representing Nsukka Igweze South of Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, our order rule is here, and there is no order 6-9. There is no order 6-9 that Honorable Jimmy Benson stood on. So he relied on an order that is not our order rule, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to call your attention to it so that you overrule whatever he has presented on the floor of this House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Your point of order is noted. Thank you very much. Any member with petition? I will first of all recognize my dear friend, who is the chairman of petition movers, to open the floor. And I hope you will have more than one, as usual.
Thank you, distinguished speaker, the People's Speaker, and esteemed colleagues. My name is Barrister J.C. Okejo Onakalus. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, I represent the Nigerians, especially the heartbeat of Lagos. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition here signed by Chief V.A. Agu of Emmanuel Solicitors. This petition is against the Nigerian police on inhuman treatment and unjust treatment to their client. Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission, the prayers are well enumerated here. With your kind permission, I crave your indulgence to lay this petition.
Please go ahead. Any more petitions? Yes, Dabai.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Abdullahi Balarabe Dabai, representing Bakure Danja Federal Constituency. I am from Katsina State. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition by one Dr. Williams Ejeze 4 against Swiss Biostat Limited in respect of his unremitted pension benefits, which the company has refused to pay and remit to his pension fund administrators. I seek the leave of the House and the permission of the Speaker to lay in this petition. Mr. Speaker, sir.
Please go ahead.
Thank you.
Yes, my brother.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. I am Omori Osaro Murphy, speaking for and on behalf of the entire people of Ego Ikpobaka Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Edo State, the heartbeat of the nation. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition here from Honorable Michael Irom Etaba. This petition is against Dr. Suleiman Adejo, the Managing Director of Kino Smart Parking Nigeria Limited, and the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Federal Capital Territory, named Mr. Dogo Aliu Wadata. This petition is for corruption, tax evasion, bribery, non-remittance of accrued revenue to the government coffers, and failure to pay the staff of Kino Smart Parking Nigeria Limited their salaries and entitlements. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I wish to step forward to lay this petition.
Please go ahead. Any more petitions? Honorable Matthew.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Mark Obeta, representing the good people of Nsukka Igweze South Federal Constituency of Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition from Buttonwood and Green, legal practitioners, solicitors, consultants, and arbitrators. It's a petition against Standard Alliance Insurance Company, PLC, and Standard Alliance Life Assurance and its directors. This petition was signed by Samson Isechi, the principal partner. With the leave of the House and your kind permission, may I present this petition, sir?
Please go ahead. Any more petitions? All petitions are referred to the Committee on Public Petitions for further legislative action. Before we proceed into the next item, it's my pleasure to recognize the presence of Honorable Dr. Ruyonga Joseph, who is the committee chairman from the Ugandan Parliament. And we also have Honorable Dr. Akuti Opio Samuel, who is his deputy chairman. And again, we have Honorable Dr. Boka Didi George, who is a committee member. Accompanying them are Dr. Ibrahim Wada, OON, from NISA Premier, and Barrister Udinga Imupere, and Barrister Halita Adekule. You are most welcome. Honorable colleagues, we are on matters of public urgent importance. It's my pleasure to recognize Honorable Chesi Oluwaseun Wingam to move his motion. Honorable Wingam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My colleagues, I rise today to move a motion of urgent public importance on the urgent need for precautionary measures to mitigate predicted flood risk in 22 states and FCT. My name is Honorable Wingan Sesi Oluwaseun, and I represent the people of Badagry Federal Constituency. I'm from Lagos State.
Any seconder to the first leg of the motion? Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My highly respected colleague, Bada Ahmed Yusuf is my name, member representing Shannon Oge Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I stand to second the motion heavily raised by honorable colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. The second leg of the motion, any seconder? Yes, Honorable. Is it my chair? Please go ahead.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Namde Zech is my name, and I represent Ndokwa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to second this motion of urgent public importance, that the motion is urgent enough to be heard in the floor of the House. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Honorable Sesi, please proceed.
Okay, sir. The House notes that the federal government has predicted 5 days of heavy rainfall, which may lead to flooding in 22 states and the Federal Capital Territory, according to a report from the National Flood Early Warning System Center of the Federal Ministry of Environment, published by Punch, Nigeria on October 14, 2024. Also note that the identified locations most at risk of severe flooding include communities along the flood plains of rivers Donga, Benue, and Ogun in states such as Osun, Delta, Cross River, Anambra, Taraba, Nasarawa, and Kebbi, among others. The rainfall and potential flooding are predicted from the 14th to 18th of October 2024, threatening both life and property. The House is concerned that the predicted heavy rainfall and resulting floods could have devastating impacts on vulnerable communities, leading to displacement, loss of property, destruction of infrastructure, and potential loss of lives if adequate precautionary mechanisms are not put in place to protect citizens in these areas. The House further concerned that Despite early warnings, there may not be sufficient proactive measures, such as timely evacuations, provisions of temporary shelters, and support systems for affected communities. This increases the risk of severe humanitarian consequences if these warnings are not addressed through urgent actions. The House is aware that the flooding is a recurring issue in Nigeria, often exacerbated by inadequate drainage system, lack of preparedness, and insufficient coordination among agencies responsible for disaster management. It is crucial that relevant authorities immediately implement strategies to mitigate the predicted disaster, including evacuation plans, provision of relief materials, and ensuring post-flood recovery efforts are coordinated effectively. The House resolves to, 1, summon the Federal Ministry of Environment, the National Emergency Management Agency, and the Hydrological Services Agency to appear before this Honorable House to explain what precautionary measures are being implemented to safeguard lives and properties in the predicted flood zones. Call on the Federal Ministry of Environment and state governments to activate evacuation protocols for communities along floodplains and ensure that affected populations have access to temporary shelters, medical services, and other forms of support. 3, the House urged the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing and the Ministry of Water Resources to carry out an immediate assessment of drainage system and waterways in flood-prone areas and reduce blockages that could worsen flooding. Direct that the federal government, through the relevant ministries and agencies, to collaborate with the state government to enhance their disaster preparedness capabilities and also ensure the quick deployment of rescue teams and relief materials and medical assistance where needed. And lastly, the House mandates the Committee on Environment, jointly with Committee on Emergency and Disaster Preparedness and Water Resources, to ensure ongoing monitoring and post-flood rehabilitation efforts, ensuring that affected communities receive long-term support in rebuilding infrastructure and livelihood. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Amendment? Yes, Honorable Chair.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Francis Ejirogane Waives, my name, and I represent the entire people of Ughelli North, Ughelli South, and Udu. I'm from Delta State. My amendment is to prayer 1, where he is urging that the ministers would appear before the House. I would want to amend that to say that they should be summoned to the committees of environment and water resources, as mentioned in the other prayers of the motion. I so move for its amendment. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Any seconder to this amendment? Yes, Doctor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. My honorable colleague, I agree with this amendment. It's therefore my pleasure to second the amendment as moved by my honorable colleague. I so second, sir.
Those in favor of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is it. Any seconder to the main motion? Yes, Honorable Idem.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues. My name is Idem Unyime, member representing Ukanafun, Oruganam Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion as amended. I so second.
Those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is it. This motion is referred to the Committees on Environment, Emergency and Preparedness, Water Resources and Finance for further legislative action. The next motion is coming from Honorable Oboku Abonisibe Oforji. Honorable Oforji, if you are around, please can you rise and move your motion?
With profound humility, Mr. Speaker, my revered colleague, Oforji Abonsizbe Oboku is my name, representing Yenegwa Kolokuma Opokuma Federal Constituency. I am from Bayelsa State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to move a motion of urgent public importance on the need to appeal to Mr. President to rescind the scrubbing of the Ministry of Niger Delta Development. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to the first leg? Yes, Honorable Mohammed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Distinguished, highly respected, my colleague. My name is Honorable Mohammed Ang Abba Shehu, member representing good people of Zaki Federal Constituency. I'm from Bauchi State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion heavily moved by my colleague that the matter is urgent enough to be presented. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg of the motion. Second leg, who is seconding? Honorable Chair, please go ahead. I thought I saw your hand. Please go ahead, sir.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Right Honorable Engineer Hamis Ibrahim. I represent Number Tamakoda Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I stand to second the second leg of the motion heavily moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, please proceed.
The Right Honorable Mr. Speaker, my revered colleagues, Oforji Abonsizbe Oboku is my name, representing Yenegwa Kolokuma Opokuma Federal Constituency. I am from Bayelsa State. Mr. Speaker, the House notes that the Ministry of Niger Delta Development, formerly Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, was announced on September 10, 2008 by late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua of blessed memory. Ufot Ekaite was appointed the minister of the ministry in December the same year. They also note that the ministry was created to promote and coordinate policies for the development, peace, unity, and security of the Niger Delta region. It is expected to formulate, execute plans, programs, and other initiatives, as well as coordinate the activities of the agency, communities, donors, and other relevant stakeholders involved in the development of the Niger Delta region. They are also aware that President Yar'Adua of blessed memory had good intention and foresight for creating the ministry. To him, it was a way to ameliorate the suffering, agitation, and neglect of the region for decades by successive governments. A region that produces the economic wealth of the country and yet poor and poorly governed. They are also aware that years of oil spillage, lack of arable land, and total amenities, etc., have necessitated the emergence of militancy in the oil-rich region. It was in the short term of late President Yar'Adua leadership from Katsina State that the dialogue was initiated with major stakeholders in the region and militant, culminating in the amnesty program that has brought relative peace to the oil-rich Niger Delta region. They are further aware that these were a prelude to the creation of the ministry, which was aimed at infrastructural development, environmental protection, and empowerment of youth in the oil-rich Niger Delta region. Are we there yet? The answer is no. But the people of the Niger Delta believe that the lofty dreams and aspirations of the founding fathers of the region will be actualized some days. Hence, their embrace of the creation of the Ministry of the Niger Delta. Mr. Speaker, the region is disturbed that on the 23rd of October 2024, the oil-rich region witnessed a palpable tension following the announcement of the scrapping of the Ministry of Niger Delta Development by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This is not a good omen for a region that has contributed immensely to the economic development of our country and has enjoyed some relative peace. The House resolved urged the federal government, led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to urgently rescind the scrapping of the Ministry of the Niger Delta. Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, I so move.
Any contribution? Contribution first?
Contribution.
Contribution. Honorable Oforji, please can you see the minority leader, please? Honorable Oforji. Leader, please can you contribute while we are discussing with the sponsor, please?
Mr. Speaker, Julius Ihonvere, on Federal Constituency, Edo State. I think the intention of the motion mover is a good one. It shows patriotism and commitment to the interests of the Niger Delta. However, I think it is a bit preemptive and at the same time assumptive because the interests of the Niger Delta is already being pursued in ways that will balance the other regions. We have a South-South Development Commission bill, which has passed the House completely. It's in the Senate, and we're following up to clear some of the cobwebs at that end. And I believe that with that bill, the South-South Development Commission will be added to the Ministry of Regional Development to balance all other regions. So my view is that at this point in time, we will urge my brother, my younger brother, a member, to step down the bill for further legislative consultation between this side and that side and our stakeholders. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Leader. Well, for the information of the House, I had a discussion with Mr. President last week concerning the issue of South-South Development Bill, and he told me clearly that he is favorably disposed to receiving any proposal concerning the establishment of South-South Development Commission. So I think in light of this explanation, I would want to call on the sponsor of this motion to please allow us to step down this motion, since it is overtaken by events. Honorable Forji.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Are we on the same page with you?
No problem, sir. Mr. Speaker, please.
Thank you so much, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. This motion is set down by the leave of the House. The next motion is coming from Honorable Dr. Suleiman Abubakar Gumi. If he's around, please can you rise and move your motion?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I am Dr. Suleiman Abubakar Gumi. I represent the good people of Gumi, Bukuim Federal Constituency from Zamfara State, the newest member of APC. This motion is brought under urgent importance under 8 Rule 4. I want to seek Order 8 Rule 4, Rule 5, Order 8 Rule 5. And I want the leave of the House to allow me to take this all-important motion, which is the need to stop the issuance of airstrip license to private individuals and organizations in the country as a matter of national security concern. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
The D is with the small d. Microphone.
Right Honorable Speakers, our very distinguished colleagues, I remain Honorable Shehu Alhatu, member representing Paskari, Kankara Sabwa, and from Katsina State. I rise to second the motion, first leg of the motion, ably moved by my brother, Honorable Suleiman Gumi, the brand new APC member. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Order, please. Those in support of this motion should say aye.
Point of order.
Those against should say nay.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
The ayes have it. Point of order?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, my very dear colleagues, I rise under same Order 8 Rule 5. Particularly Sub-Rule 2, and I wish to read. A matter of urgent public importance shall, emphasis on the word shall, seek to address any of the following: immediate threats to lives and properties. If the matter is allowed to persist and not addressed immediately, it may lead to breakdown of law and order, cause serious damage to or total destruction of federal government-owned or controlled infrastructure, a national monument, or a World Heritage Center. 3, any matter considered to be urgent by the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the issues raised, any other matter considered by the Speaker. I'm not shying away from that. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, the issue raised by our colleague is very germane. It's necessary, it's important. But the other question is it urgent as to come under Order 8, Rule 5? And I think that we actually need to consider this issue so that we take only matters that are urgent and in compliance with our rules under this order. We have motion on notice. We have other means of bringing these matters before the Parliament. But we observe that we are overloading Order 8 Rule 5. I would therefore pray that my learned colleague should put us on notice so that we will also have the opportunity of reading through his arguments and then prepare ourselves to respond to this motion. This motion does not fall under that order, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader. But when you look at the number 3 of what you have read, it gives the Speaker the latitude. And I'm sure we have been taking similar kind of motions in the past that are not too urgent, but with the discretion of the Speaker, once in a while we do that. And I think today, because it's a very symbolic day for us, I would want to graciously accept that. And I know why the leader is not too happy for this motion to take place. So please, your point of order is noted, but we'll go ahead and put the second question. Depending on the outcome, we'll decide whether we'll take it immediately or take it tomorrow. Okay? So those is any seconder to the second motion? Honorable Ambarura.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My respected colleagues, I am Honorable Bello Isa Ambarura, representing Gwarabawa Ilela Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise up to second the motion that was presented by my colleague that under Rule 8, Rule 5, to present the motion under urgent public importance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye.
Okwara.
Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, please proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for your protection. Aware that the federal government, through the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace, Festus Keyamo, confirmed the approval of an airstrip for a religious-based organization in Ota, Ogun State. Recall that in September 2014, a prominent religious leader was linked with a private jet used to convey $9.3 million in cash to South Africa for purchase of arms. The private jet was seized by the South African authorities, which has two people, Nigerian and an Israeli, on board. Concerned that the current experience of security challenge that Nigeria is facing through illegal importation, proliferation of firearms and ammunition, importation of illicit hard drugs, coupled with the inability of our security agencies to pinpoint the source of supply of weapons to insurgents, kidnappers, and separatists that have massacred thousands of Nigerians across the country. Worried that granting airstrip to private individuals and organizations will aid illegal importation of firearms and hard drugs into the country, thus heightening insurgency, kidnapping, banditry, and other vices that are seriously affecting the socio-economic development of the country. The House resolves to, 1, call on the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace to stop issuance of airstrip licenses to private individuals and organizations, and also withdraw approvals already granted to private individuals and organizations with a view to safeguarding national security. 2, urge the committees on aviation and legislative compliance to ensure compliance. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder?
Observation, Mr.
Observation?
Speaker. Yes, please.
Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues. My name is Honorable Shino Ideji. I represent the people of Isai, Tesiwaju, Kajola, and the Wajua Federal Constituency. Observation is this. I believe Initially, the minister was even wrong in giving an approval for an airstrip. This is supposed to be the duty of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. So we need to even look at it from that angle. The approval given by the minister is even defective and is not meant to be. Because the approval for airstrip, airport, is supposed to come from Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, who is domiciled with the power to do so. It's not domiciled at the ministry. It is after the approval of the NCAA that the minister can give such an approval. So even giving that kind of approval is an abuse of power. So I want this House to please see how we can actually look at all this. There are so many things going on in that industry right now that we really need to look into. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. While I accept your contribution, but we also need to be mindful that the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority is under the Ministry of Aviation. So by implication, I want to believe perhaps the minister has done the due diligence by accepting collecting all the necessary approvals before he made the announcement. But however, since the resolution of this motion or the prayer is to urge the Committee on Aviation to investigate on this matter, I think they can also take note of that particular aspect to ensure that in the first place, whether due process has been followed or not. So I think we can take a seconder to the motion, or have we done so? Honorable Namdi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Excellency, Honorable Namdi Zech is my name, and I represent Okwani Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Delta State. I rise here this morning to second the motion ably moved by my dear former brother from PDP. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Aviation for further legislative action. Honorable members, the business of the day is presentation of 20 bills. I now invite the clerk to read their short titles.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Federal Colleges of Education Act Amendment Bill 2024, first reading. Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 6 alteration, FCT House Assembly Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 6 alteration, Multiplayer Policing Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 6 alteration, Compensation in the Land Use Act Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 6 alteration Bill 6th Special Seats for Special Interest Group Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 6 alteration, Expand Criminal Categories Bill 2024, first reading. Compulsory Genotype Screening Bill 2024, first reading. Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery Isioko, Rivers State Establishment Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 6 alteration Bill 2024, first reading. Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 6 alteration Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 6 alteration Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 6 alteration Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 6 alteration Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 6 alteration Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 6 alteration Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 6 alteration Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 6 alteration Bill 2024, first reading. Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2024, first reading.
Honorable colleagues, the first order of the day is the third reading of a bill for an act to prevent, prohibit, and redress sexual harassment of students in tertiary educational institutions and for related matters, standing in the name of the House Leader. Honorable members recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Tuesday, 29th October 2024. I therefore call on the House Leader to move that the bill be read the third time.
Mr. Speaker, Professor Julius Ihanvere, on one federal constituency, and from Edo State, I rise to move that a bill for an act to prevent, prohibit, and redress sexual harassment of students in tertiary educational institutions and for related matters, HB 1598, and a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center Itigidi, Cross River State, and for related matters, HB 624, and a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal College of Health Sciences, Gaya, Kano State, and for related matters, HB 31, and a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center Ikole Ekiti, Ekiti State, and for related matters, HB 1037, and finally, a bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council Act, CAP-A, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2024, to make provisions for the establishment of Federal College of Agricultural Technology, Opealu, Ojapo, Benue State, to contribute to the development of Nigeria through training of qualitative manpower in agriculture by adequate exposure to sound theoretical background, practical farm and field demonstrations, and for related matters, SB 212 be read for the third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Minority Leader, please second the first order of the day, which is a third reading, second order of the day, which is also a third reading, and the third order of the day, also a third reading. I think the House Leader took all the three together.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion for the third reading of the following bills: HB 1598, HB 642,
Therefore, anyway, with the fourth order too as well, please.
HB 31, and HB 1037. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Clerk.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to prevent, prohibit, and redress sexual harassment of students in tertiary educational institutions and for related matters, third reading. A bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers and establish Federal Medical Center, Itigidi, Cross River State, and for related matters, third reading. A bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal College of Health Sciences, Gaya, Kano State, and for related matters, third reading. A bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers and establish Federal Medical Center, Ikole Ekiti, Ekiti State, and for related matters, third reading.
Bills read for the third time and passed. The fifth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act, CAP-A, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2024, to make provisions for establishment of Federal College of Agricultural Technology, Opealu, Ojapo, Benue State, to contribute to the development of Nigeria through training of qualitative manpower in agriculture by adequate exposure to sound theoretical background, practical farm and field demonstration, and for related matters, standing in the name of the House Leader. Honorable members will recall that the bill was transmitted by the Senate seeking concurrence of the House of Representatives. The bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 15th October 2024. I now invite Honorable Ihovere, the House Leader, to move that the bill be read a second time.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for amending my earlier presentation. I rise to move that the bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act, Cap A, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2024, to make provisions for the establishment of Federal College of Agricultural Technology, Opialu, Ojapo, Benue State, to contribute to the development of Nigeria through training of qualitative manpower in agriculture by adequate exposure to sound theoretical background, practical farming, and field demonstration, and for related matters, SB 212 be read a second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Minority Leader, please can you second?
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion for the second reading of SB 212. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. This is a straightforward bill. It's an establishment bill, so we'll just go ahead and put the question. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Clerk.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act, Cap A, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2024, to make provisions for establishment of Federal College of Agricultural Technology, Opialu, Ojapo, Benue State, contribute to the development of Nigeria through training of qualitative manpower in agriculture by adequate exposure to sound theoretical background, practical farm, and field demonstration, and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee of the Whole for further legislative action. The sixth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to alter the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, to carve out Nasarawa Egon Federal Constituency from Akwanga/Nasarawa Egon Wamba Federal Constituency, and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Jeremiah Umaru. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 7th May 2024. I now invite Honorable Umaru to move that the bill be read a second time.
Thank you, Excellency. The Right Honorable Speaker, my respected colleagues. My name is Jeremiah Umaru ACA. I represent Akwanga, Nasarawa, Egowamba Federal Constituency. I'm from Nasarawa State. I stand to move that a bill for an act to alter the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, to carve out Nasarawa Egon Federal Constituency from Akwanga, Nasarawa Egon Wamba Federal Constituency, and other related matters be read for the second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you.
Any seconder? The chairman of the Committee of Deputies, Honorable Leko.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Right Honorable Speaker, my dear respected colleagues. My name is Honorable Jafar Leko, and I continue to represent the very good people of Bogoro, Dastafa, Balewa. I stand before you this afternoon to second this very, very important motion sponsored by a bill sponsored by a friend and a colleague, Honorable Jeremiah Umaru, to alter the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria to create Nasarawa Egon Federal Constituency out of Wamba, Akwanga, Nasarawa Egon Federal Constituency. I so second, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Again, this motion is a straightforward one. It's a constitutional matter, so with your kind permission, we go ahead and put the question. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Clerk.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to alter the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to carve out Nasarawa Egon Federal Constituency from Akwanga Nasarawa Egon Wamba Federal Constituency and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the committee, bill referred to the Committee on Constitutional Review, right? Yeah. The seventh order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center Saki, Oyo State, for the provision of tertiary healthcare services, medical education, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Karim Tajuddin Abisodun. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 17 July 2024, and I invite Honorable Tajuddin to move that the bill be now read a second time.
Thank you very much, my boss, the Speaker, colleagues. I am the Honorable Karim Tajuddin Abisodun. Honorable Speaker, I represent the people of Shaki West, Shaki East, and Atisbo Federal Constituency of Oyo State. Honorable Speaker, may I move, and I so move, for a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Center Act and establishment Federal Medical Center, Shaki, Oyo State, for the provision of tertiary healthcare services, medical education, and for related matters, HB 1356. Honorable Speaker, I so move.
Any seconder? Honorable Akiremi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Prince Hakim Adeni Adeyemi. Mr. Speaker, I'm speaking for the good people of Afiju, Atiba, Oyo East, Oyo West, and rise to second the motion to go for second reading of a bill to establish medical center in Atisbo, Shaki, Federal Constituency from Oyo State. I so move. I so second.
Aquara. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is it. Again, this is an establishment bill. We don't need to debate over it. Could be done during public hearing. So with your kind permission, we put the question. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is it. Clerk.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to amend Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center, Shaki, Oyo State, and for the provision of tertiary health care services, medical education, and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Health Institutions for further legislative action. The eighth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend Federal University of Agriculture Act Cap F22 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2010 to establish Federal University of Agriculture Akure, Ondo State, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Adeshita Abiodun. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 9th May 2024, and I invite Honorable Adeshita to move that the bill be read a second time. Honorable, please go ahead.
The Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Prince Abiodun Adeshida. I represent Akure North, Akure South Federal Constituency of Ondo State. I stand before you to move for a bill for an act to amend the Federal Universities of Agriculture Act, Cap F22, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 204, to establish Federal University of Agriculture, Akure, Ondo State, and for related matters, HB 1375, to be read the second time. I so move.
Any seconder? Any seconder? Honorable Jesse.
Thank you, the People's Speaker. Esteemed colleagues, my name is Barrister Jesse Okejo Onakalos. I represent the Nigerians, especially the habit of Lagos. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second a bill to amend the Federal University of Agriculture for the establishment of Federal Agriculture Akure to pass the second reading. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable colleagues, again, this is an establishment bill. With your kind permission, I'll go ahead and put the question. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to amend the Federal Universities of Agriculture Act F22 laws of the Federation
Honorable
of
Billy.
Nigeria 2004 to establish Federal University of Agriculture Akure, Ondo State, and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Agricultural Institutions and Colleges for further legislative action. The ninth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act Cap A12, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to make provision for establishment of Federal College of Agriculture in Bati, Buruku, Benue State, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Seka Zoam Yotom. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 10th October 2023. I'll now invite Honorable Yotom to move that the bill be read the second time.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Sekav Zuayotiong, member representing the good people of Buruku Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise this afternoon to move a bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act, Cap A12, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2024, to make provision for the establishment of Federal College of Agriculture, Mbaitie, Buruku, Benue State, and for other matters, HB 572. Mr. Speaker, I move that this bill should be read for the second time. I so move.
Honorable Billy.
Thank you, my right honorable speaker. My honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Chief Dr. Billy Famous Adesuwa Osawaru. I represent the good people of Orion Wode Federal Constituency of Edo State, a very proud Beni chief. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second this motion, ably moved by my colleague, Honorable Seka. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk, can you read the long title?
The Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act, Cap A12, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to make provision for establishment of Federal College of Agriculture, Mbati, Buruku, Benue State, and for related matters, second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Agricultural Institutions and Colleges for further legislative action. The third order of the day is a motion on rescission of the Federal University of Agriculture Kabam Establishment Bill 2024, standing in the name of Honorable Francis Waebe. Honorable Waebe is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Francis A. Jirogane Waebe is my name, and I represent the entire people of Ughelli North, Ughelli South, and Udu. I'm from Delta State. I rise to move the motion for the rescission of the Federal University of Agriculture Kaba Establishment Bill 2024 HB 1520. The House notes that a bill for an act to establish Federal University of Agriculture Kaba was considered, subsequently read the third time and passed. Aware of the existence of the Federal Universities of Agriculture Act, and therefore introducing an establishment bill may not be ideal in the circumstances, but rather an amendment to the existing Act on Federal Universities of Agriculture Act. The House therefore resolves to rescind its decision on the passage of the Federal University of Agriculture Kaba Establishment Bill HB 1520 and recommit the bill to the Committee of the Whole for reconsideration. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion as moved by the House Chairman, Business and Rules. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is it. Clerk. Sorry. Motion is referred to the Committee of the Whole for further legislative action. The 11th order of the day is a motion on outstanding bills from preceding assembly, standing in the name of Honorable Francis Waebe. Honorable Waebe is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Francis A. Jirogane Waebe is my name, and I represent the entire people of Ughelli North, Ughelli South, and Udu. I am from Delta State. I rise to move the motion for reconsideration of outstanding bills from preceding assembly. The House notes that National Broadcasting Commission Act Amendment Bill 2024 HB 1816 and Federal University Wukuru Establishment Bill 2024 HB 1382. The House notes that pursuant to Order 12-17 of the Standing Orders, the House may, upon being regazetted or circulated, reconsider in the Committee of the Whole without commencing the novel, the bills, whose report was presented by the committee before consideration, passed by the House and forwarded to the Senate for concurrence, for which no concurrence was made or negative, passed by the Senate and forwarded to the House, for which no concurrence was made or negative, or passed by the preceding assembly and forwarded to the President for assent, but for which assent or withholding thereof was not communicated before the end of the term of the preceding assembly. The House also notes that affirmation bills were passed by the preceding assembly and forwarded to the President for assent, but for which assent or withholding thereof was not communicated before the end of the term of the last assembly. Aware that the bills were read for the first time as HB 1816 and 1382, the House resolves to recommit the bills to the Committee of the Whole for consideration. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Kelechi.
The Right Honorable Speaker, most respected and humble Speaker of this Parliament. My name is Honorable Kelechi Nwogu. I represent the people of Ichie Omuma Constituency. I'm from Rivers State, the treasure base of the nation. I rise to second the motion moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is it. This motion is referred to the Committee of the Whole for further legislative action. The 12th order of the day is a motion on the need to address flooding and gully erosion, devastating communities in Birnin Kebbi, Kalgo Bunza Federal Constituency. Standing in the name of Honorable Ibrahim Mohammed. Honorable Mohammed is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Ibrahim Mohammed, I represent Nigerians through the good people of Benin Kebbi, Kogo, Bunza Federal Constituency. I am from Kebbi State. I rise to move a motion on the need to address flooding and gully erosion devastating communities in Benin Kebbi, Kogo, Bunza Federal Constituency. The House notes the growing impact of climate change, which has adversely affected and impacted environments across the globe, resulting in environmental and socioeconomic challenges. Also notes that flooding and gully erosion are exacerbated by increased rainfall, poor environmental practices, inadequate or inefficient drainage systems due to lack of preparedness by relevant government agencies to respond to climate change projections and poor waste disposal practices. Concerned that communities within Benin Kebbi Kolgo Bunza Federal Constituency, including Bunza Marafa, Nasarawa 1 and 2, Digi, Kola, Tarasa, Badaria, Zauro, Ambursa, Raha, Bunza Dangaladima, Medehini, and Sabon Birni have been severely impacted by recurring floods and expanding gully erosion annually, leading to the loss of valuable farmlands that are crucial for agriculture and the local economy. Also concerned that the floods and erosion have caused displacement of families and trauma in affected communities, leading to socioeconomic disruption. Aware that the communities are currently grappling with economic challenges due to the loss of essential services, lack of government intervention, infrastructural destruction, and impended transportation of goods exacerbating the crisis. Also aware that these communities are predominantly agrarian, experiencing ongoing losses due to the inability to transport produce, coupled with the growing encroachment of gully erosion on their farmlands, which threatens future livelihoods. Cognizant of the need to address the gully erosion to alleviate residents' suffering, reclaim productive farmland, boost economic activities, and restore the residents' confidence in government and environmental protection, the House resolves to urge the Ecological Fund Office and other related agencies to conduct an impact assessment of the affected communities and provide necessary funding for a robust remediation plan to mitigate the effects of flood and gully erosion. 2, also urge the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to immediately provide relief materials to the affected communities in Benin Kebbi, Kogo, and Bunza Federal Constituency. Lastly, mandate the Committees on Environment, Works, and Water Resources to make adequate provisions for the construction of proper drainage systems in Benin Kebbi Kolgo Bunza Federal Constituency, Kebbi State, and the implementation of erosion control measures in the 2025 budget estimates. I so move.
Any seconder? Honorable Nweke, do you know the subject matter? You let us know the subject matter and second if you are in agreement.
Mr. Speaker is directed, sir. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Honorable Nweke Felix Uche. I represent Elementai, Igbo Federal Constituency. I am from River State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. This motion is referred to Committees on Environment, Works, and Water Resources for further legislative action. The 13th order of the day is a motion on the need to acquire adjoining pieces of land to expand Federal Medical Centers, JB, Ibitu-Meta, and the National Hospital, Abuja, standing in the name of Honorable Amos Gomna Magaji. Honorable Magaji is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Amos Gwamna Magaji. I represent the peaceful people of Zangon Kataf, Jaba Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, we are from Kaduna State. The need to acquire adjoining pieces of land to expand Federal Medical Center Jabi, Ebute-Metta, and National Hospital Abuja. The House notes that the Federal Medical Center Ebute-Metta began as a railway hospital in 1964 and later became FMC in 2004 and still located in the Nigerian Railway Corporation compound in Ebute-Metta, Lagos. Also note that the hospital, Federal Medical Center Ebute-Metta, shares premises with an event center and printing press, which attract customers daily, disrupting hospital administration and causing inconvenience to patients, therefore necessitating urgent evacuation and acquisition of new premises for expansion. Further notes that Federal Medical Center Jabi, Abuja, is congested and challenged with meeting the growing demands of healthcare services for the teeming population of Federal Capital Territory and its environs. Aware that a professional institute shares the same fence with the Federal Medical Center Jabi and was allocated large hectare of land for the building of its permanent site. However, the institute has not yet developed the land. Cognizant of the overriding public interest, therefore, relocating the institute land to the FMC Jabi for expansion will result to better and more effective healthcare service delivery. Informed that the National Hospital Abuja is in critical need of land to build its accident and emergency unit, hence the need to acquire the vacant land outside the hospital gate. Also cognizant that these proposed land acquisition and hospital expansion are critical for effective delivery of healthcare services to Nigerian citizens and for overriding public interest. Resolve to number one, urge the Railway Corporation, Federal Capital Territory Administration to approve this plot of land to the hospitals for the delivery, for the desired expansion and initiate a compensation procedure to the affected occupants. Two, mandate the Committee on Land Transport, Federal Capital Territory, Legislative Compliance, and Health Institution to ensure compliance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Honorable Tijani?
Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, highly respected colleagues, I remain Tijani Kayode Ismail. I represent the good people of Ifelodun, Ofa, Oyun Federal Constituency. I'm from Kwara State. I rise to second the motion, heavily moved by Honorable Amos Governor Magaji. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. There is have it. This motion is referred to the Committees on Land Transport, Federal Capital Territory Administration, Health Institutions for further legislative action. The 14th order of the day is a motion on the need to address the secretive employment in the Federal Civil Service, standing in the name of Honorable Kolawole Davison Akilayo. Honorable Akilayo is hereby invited to move the motion. I think, Honorable, you have indicated that we should step down this bill, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
This bill is stepped down by the leave of the House.
Thank you, sir.
The 15th order of the day is a motion on a call for relocation of Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, local government offices to neutral venues, standing in the name of Honorable Sunday Namchi. Honorable Namchi is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Professor Paul Sunday Namchi, representing Enugu East, issues of federal constituency from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, On the motion is on the call for relocation of Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC local government offices to neutral venues or locations. Mr. Speaker, the House notes that the Section 157 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, guarantees the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, unhindered autonomy and independence to conduct elections. The House also notes that the Independent National Electoral Commission has a critical role in conducting free, fair, and credible elections. The House further notes that majority of the INEC's local government offices are currently situated within local government headquarters or otherwise. Further note that the majority, the House is aware that this is potentially hampering and compromising the independence of INEC in the conduct of elections. The House observes that this proximity exposes INEC to manipulations and control by interest groups, particularly in areas dominated by a single political party. Concerned that this impedes INEC impartiality as enshrined in Section 6 of the Electoral Act 2022. Cognizance of the need to maintain public trust and confidence in the electoral process, the House resolves as follows: to urge INEC to relocate its local government offices to secure neutral locations and make adequate provisions in the 2025 budget estimates to accommodate the projects. Secondly, the House to mandate the Committee on Electoral Matters to liaise with Independent National Electoral Commission and other relevant stakeholders to ensure compliance and report within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and so move.
Honorable Blessing, can you tell us where we are and the second if you are in agreement with this motion?
Amendment, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, an amendment, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Blessing Onyeche Onu, and I represent the very good people of Otukpo Himni Federal Constituency. I'm from Benue State. I rise to second this very important motion.
Which is the motion? What motion is that?
They call for relocation of Independent National Electoral Commission. I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye.
Mr. Speaker.
Those against should say nay. Nice have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Electoral Matters for further legislative action. The 16th order of the day is a motion on funding of exploration for data in the solid mineral space to unlock mineral deposits and enhance foreign exchange earnings. Standing in the name of Honorable Ojo Sunday Makanjola. Honorable Ojo is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir, and my honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Ojo Sunday Makanjola, Honorable representing Ogoluwa, Surulere Federal Constituency. I'm from Oyo State. The House notes, I stand this afternoon to make a motion funding of exploration of data in the solid mineral space to unlock mineral deposits and enhance foreign exchange earning. The House notes that Nigeria is going through a difficult economy for us with dwindling foreign exchange, inflow of negative effects on Naira strength, as it was described in recent times as one of the worst performing in Africa alongside Ethiopia. Also note that Nigeria has been a mono economy with high dependency on oil and gas. Now with the energy transition and departure from the use of fossil fuel, the country may begin to experience a decline in revenue from the sector. Further note that Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation Limited estimated $400 million on frontier exploration annually in Nigeria and in 2021. NNPC spent 20 billion naira in 7 months on frontier exploration alone. Aware that Nigeria is blessed with abundant resources and that during the colonial era and pre-independence period, Nigeria's main income was solid minerals. The KPMG, Nigeria Mining Sector Brief, on June 2024, listed the potential of a number of minerals as follows. 1, coal has a reserve estimate of about 2.73 billion metric tons and proven reserve of 639 million tons. 2, bitumen has an estimated 47 billion tons. 3, barite has an estimated 23 million metric tons. 4, lead zinc have been observed along a belt of approximately 30 to 50 kilometer wide stretching for about 560 kilometers in length from Ebonyi State through Benue, Bauchi, Adamawa, Taraba, Nasarawa, and Plateau State. 4, limestone, estimated reserve of 10.6 billion tons across 14 states. 6, iron ore has an estimated reserve of about 3 billion tons. 7, gold has estimated reserve of about 21.37 metric tons, valued at $1 billion as at second quarter of 2023. Conscious that these deposits of exploit to a bankable data level will bring enormous foreign exchange inflow that will contribute significantly to our nation's GDP. Resolve to urge the federal government to A, appropriate the sum of $500 million or its equivalent for exploration as a special intervention in the solid mineral sector in the forthcoming 2025 budget estimate. 2, exploit bilateral agreement on a government-to-government level to get the required expertise at affordable rate for the exploration service and support technology transfer. 2, mandate the Committee on Appropriation, Finance, and Solid Mineral to ensure compliance and report within 4 weeks legislative week for further legislative action. I so move. Thank you.
Any seconder? Chair, National Security.
Representing Jere Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker, I rise to second this very important motion that will improve the economic of the mineral sector in Nigeria. I hereby second the motion, sir. Thank you.
Amendment? Okay, go ahead.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mweke Felix Uche. I represent Eleme Oyibo, Thai, Federal Constituency, and from River State. My amendment is on A, appropriate the sum of $500 million or its equivalent. How did he arrive at $500 million, sir? So,
Pardon, can you repeat what you said?
My amendment is on A, appropriate the sum of $500 million or its equivalent for exploration as a special intervention fund. How did they arrive at $500 million? It is specific.
So
I agree with you. So what will be the
amendment should be
amendment?
To make adequate provision for exploration.
To make
adequate provision.
Adequate provision. Any
Yes, sir.
seconder to this? Okay, Honorable, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My distinguished colleagues, Olumide Oshoba, representing Abeokuta North, Obafemi and Odera Federal Constituency. I'm from Ogun State. I hereby rise to second the amendment as ably moved by my honorable colleague.
Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committees on Appropriation, Finance, and Solid Minerals for further legislative action. The House Leader, can you move that the House suspend further deliberations on other items to tomorrow?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the House do suspend deliberations on other items on the other paper till tomorrow when we reconvene. I so move.
Minority Leader, can you second, please?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion that we do step down orders 17 to 22 to tomorrow. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Leader, can you move for adjournment, please?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the House do adjourn till tomorrow, Thursday, same time, same venue. I so move.
Minority Leader, please.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the House do stand adjourned. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. House adjourned to tomorrow, Thursday, 11 a.m. Thank you.